Hey everybody, it's Woo Make Creations here. It's Sherry behind the camera and G in front of it. And what are we doing today?
Okay, today we're going to do the ultimate hanging organizer, and this is what it is. So this is a quilted piece with vinyl sheets. These are so gorgeous. And this is for your to store your rulers, your fussy cut windows, templates. You can accessorize it how modify or accessorize it however you'd like. You can put a lot more of these hangy things here to hang scissors or other sewing paraphernalia if you want. So let's go and let's show you how to start making this. Okay, so here's what you're going to need to do this ultimate hanging organizer. You're going to need 4 sheets of vinyl, which we're going to be serging all of these. I went ahead and did 3 of them because I'll just do one on camera. But you'll need 4 sheets of 8x11 vinyl. You can use glitter sheets. You can use this kind of vinyl, whatever you want to use. You're going to need a couple rulers. I like to use the 2x16 and the 1x16. This way the measuring and the placement of the pockets is simple. You're going to need a snap tool and some snaps to affix your little loops on with, a rotary cutter, 3 grommets or 2 grommets, how you can do it however you want, and a marking tool of some sort.
Or if you don't want grommets, you can make a sleeve on the back of yours to hang on a pole or whatever you want.
Yeah, customize it however you want. So, and then you'll need, the most important part is a 21 by 43 quilted piece. I've already done it and trimmed it to 21 by 43, and I've already serged the sides. So
if you guys notice the quilting pattern that she used, it's a wavy line going in a diagonal. So yeah. It's really easy to do, really quick.
It really gives a nice accent to this type of fabric, and it's very quick to do. And what else? And so next we'll just go ahead and go over to the serger and prepare our vinyl pieces, and then we'll come back up here. Okay, so here we are at the serger. Now I'm going to take each one of these sheets and serge all around the edges. 3 of them will just stay exactly like this, and 1 we will cut up, but I still want to serge the edges first. And also, I'd like to use gloves to help me hold traction on that vinyl, because it is a little bit fiddly to work with. So anything you can do to help yourself stay in control of where you're serging is better. So I should have taken my wedding ring off. Okay. So, yeah, you showed the sheets. So, there's also 2 different sides to this, as you can tell. So, depending on what look you're going for, just make sure that you are serging it for the side that you want. Sergers also have a front and back, a top and bottom, basically. So, this is the top, and this is the bottom, the back. So you want to make sure as you're feeding your pieces through that you're feeding it the same way.
Turn it the way you had the other one, like that. Now turn it around so I can see the back, because it zooms in good right here. No, not.
What? That is the back.
It tries to focus on this though. I'm trying to show you. It tries to. This is the way I was trying to show them. There, it zooms in better.
Okay.
Okay.
So, okay, I had no idea what you were talking about. Okay, so now we're going to make sure this is the correct size now, because we've trimmed it to 8x11. So we are going to feed this through here to where the knife is not cutting. So I'm going to use this first line on my serger to keep my piece lined up with. Okay, this is so I can not cut any off. So I'm gonna push down with these fingers and hold it to where it stays on this line, and not trim any off. Okay, so we're gonna do the two long sides. I always like to do the long sides first, and then we'll do the sides. Now, the length of the tails doesn't matter until you're doing the sides, because you're going to want to tuck those in. So, we've got a long enough tail here. So when we finish at the other end, we are going to make sure that the tail is long enough to be tucked in. Okay. And like that. This is the Elna 864 Air Threader, which is identical to the Janome 2000D Air Threader. They're both equally very amazing servers. Okay, so now we have our tails long enough to tuck them. I'll show you how to tuck one. And then this, by the way, is just a flat magnet that I keep my tapestry needle on, just to grab it quickly to feed my tails in. So I'll try to keep it up here where you can see. So I'm just gonna squeeze this between my fingers and get it threaded. Pull that, and now I'm gonna thread this through and cut it. That way we don't have any unraveling, or raveling, I should say. And then we'll take our scissors, which are not right here. Where are they? Right here. Okay. I'll do two, and then this just show you how to tuck in your tails. You can also use fray check. I cannot speak on how great it is or not great it is, because I've never used it really. I find it just as fast and easy to tuck my tails in like that. So I'll tuck all my tails in of all my glitter sheets, and we'll meet you back up at the cutting table.
She's doing that on the back side.
Yes.
Okay, show them what you're doing now.
So I'm going to cut the fourth sheet of vinyl. 3 of them are going to stay at 8 by 11, and one is going to be cut into 1.5 inch strips. So what I'm going to do is use my 1.5 inch skinny minis and make it easy on myself, so I don't have to measure. So I lined my first ruler up with the edge of my vinyl, and now I'm just going to make that cut. Now, vinyl is a different beast when cutting it, so make sure that you are pushing down and nothing's gonna move away on you. There, so each cut I'm gonna move the ruler, and it makes it easy for measuring like
and
that.
It's got the grip on the back so that your vinyl won't move on you.
Yeah, just as long as you add
Press
a little
down.
pressure. There's a little bit more pressure needed for vinyl than other things. So, and this one, I'll just turn it around like this, because my ruler's not slipping off of there. And I'll make the cut right here. Now, you can use as many of these as you would like. 4, 5, 6, 7. But we're going to go and we're going to serge all the sides. But before we do that, on 2 of these, we're going to make our side pieces. That's this part of the pocket, okay? So we're going to take these and we're going to measure up. It's easier if you use your side of your cutting table here. So we're going to measure up 1/2 inch on one side and 2.5 inches on another, right? And you can make a dot here. Here's your 1/2 inch, and there's your 2.5 inch. And now you're going to play dot to dot and cut that off right like that. You're going to have one the opposite way as well. So we're going to mark this one here and 1/2 inch here. Oops, I made a kind of a big dot there. That's okay. And now we're going to take our ruler and just play dot to dot. and cut this off. Right like that. That's for this one. And we're gonna just play dot to dot on this one and cut that as well. That gives you your angle for your pockets. I don't throw away any of my pieces. I find other uses for these. So
tell them what you did with that little skinny one.
Oh, you know, these very tiny ones that you cut off to make your sheet the right size, 8 by 11. I use these to tie on zippers to make a little zipper pull out of it. You know, like through the zipper pull, I put this, make a little knot, makes a pretty little thing to pull on your zipper with. So right now we're gonna take all these back to the serger and serge all sides of them. Okay, so we're back here at the serger, and we're going to just, I've serged all these sides so you didn't have to watch that. And now I'm serging the sides of these just to show you real quick. Leaving myself a good enough tail so I'm not fighting to try to bury it. And here we go again. Okay. Now I'll add that to the collection. Now the cut pieces are the same deal. You're gonna feed that in and just serge across there, leaving yourself enough of a tail. When you see a loose thread in your way, stop and get it out, and don't just keep serging like I did.
Like she just did.
That way you don't have to pick it out. But you'll tuck in all these tails. Now here's this one. So we're gonna do the sides. Leave that angle for the last thing. Or do it how you want. That's the way I do it. All right, and normally I'm going to go ahead and cut this just so I don't have to have it in the way. Lift your foot up if you need to, get it put underneath there, and just serge away. And there, all your sides are done. And now we'll tuck all these tails in, and we'll catch you in a minute.
Okay.
Excuse my little guard dog barking. Okay, so now we're gonna do the side pieces for our template pocket. So this is the way you wanna lay it out. You wanna put the wrong sides together and clip that so we can go, so we don't lose our place when we go to the serger. So go like that and just put the right sides together, okay? And now we're gonna go serge this together, and then we'll set all these aside. Here's our loop pieces. We're just gonna set those aside. Okay, so now we're gonna take this off, and we're just gonna line these two pieces up, keeping those held together good. And we're gonna run this through, and because of the way it is, just keep running it all the way off the side of the edge, the end of the piece. So just try to keep your two pieces squished together and just run it off. Okay, leave yourself enough of a tail so you can tuck that in. And now there's one side, and now here's the other. So of course we're gonna need to serge it on this side, so we're gonna start down here, making sure that our pieces are still held together. You know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep this on here for a second so nothing stupid happens. Okay, now I'll take that off, and then I'll run it all the way up here. And so this side will be double serged, but that's fine because the extra strength is needed for
when you
stress
it out like that over there.
Exactly. Okay, so we're gonna set this pocket aside and
tuck in the tails.
We're gonna tuck in the tail, set it aside, and next we are gonna mark our quilt for the placement of these pockets, this template pocket, and our ruler sleeves. Okay, so now we're gonna need to make line A. And how we're gonna do that is it needs to be 16 inches from the top of your quilt, okay? So I have determined that this is the top of my quilt, okay? If you have a directional fabric, you're gonna want to make sure that you know where the top of your quilt is. So I'm gonna just lay it up here so that it's easy for me to reach, okay? And we're gonna take our 16-inch ruler and just lay it on the edge, about in the middle of our quilt, okay? We're gonna lay it on the edge so that it's straight here, and this is exactly 16 inches. So all I have to do is butt this ruler right up next to that edge. Now I've got a straight line of 16 inches from the top of my quilt. So I'm just gonna take my chalk pencil, anything you have to mark your quilt up with that you can get rid of the lines later. So that is your line A. Okay, now we're gonna do lines F and G. You can refer to your diagram periodically, but what it is 5 inches from each edge and an 8-inch line. This is the sides of where you're gonna be sewing on your template pocket. So we're gonna measure 5 inches from the edge of our quilt. We're gonna lay our ruler up here against it, so we'll have, that's gonna be a straight line. We can move this, and now we're gonna count 8 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're gonna draw this line 8 inches. Try to stay up against your ruler so your mark will be straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a little crosshair right there to know where the top of that 8 inches is, okay? Now we're gonna measure for the other side. We're gonna measure 5 inches, and we're gonna put our ruler up next to that on a line or at the edge of the ruler, it doesn't matter. Remove this, and now we're gonna count 8 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Much easier to make the line that way. So 8. And then we're gonna count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's my 8-inch line, so I'm gonna make just a little thing where I know where the top of that 8 inches is, okay? Now you're done marking up for your template pocket, lines A, F, and G. Okay, now you're all done with your template pocket. Now we're gonna be doing lines B and C. So the line B is gonna be 12 inches down from line A. So we're gonna take our 16-inch ruler, take 4 inches from it, lay it down here on your line A, and get your straight edge. Put a ruler here so you can make your line across the quilt, and that is line B, which is 12 inches down from line A. Refer to your diagram if it's confusing, but that is line B. Now we're gonna do line C, and it needs to be 5 inches up from line B. So we're gonna take our 5-inch ruler, or template, and that measures 5 inches up for me. So I'm gonna remove this, and I'm just gonna make a line 5 inches up from line B, and this is line C. So this is the top and bottom of your ruler sleeve pocket right here. This is the line, this line B is the bottom of your ruler sleeve, and line C is the top of your ruler sleeve. Okay, now is your next ruler pocket, and it's gonna be 12 inches down from line B. So this is your line D. You're gonna set that on your, I have my ruler marked for 4 inches from this because this is a 16-inch ruler. So to measure 12 inches, I'm gonna line that up 4 inches down from this ruler. And I'm gonna get my straight edge here. Simple, easy peasy. And this is line D. And then we will go 5 inches up from that and make our line E, right like that. So I'm gonna mark our line E. So there we go. Okay, so now we are going to place our ruler sleeve. We're going to start from the bottom of the quilt and work our way up. So we are going to start with line D. I like to do a zigzag stitch riding the left part of my foot along the vinyl. So I'm going to, see, here's my marks. I'm going to line this up right here. And this is where I'm going to start my zigzag and show my settings on my machine. 1.5 and 3.0 width. I like to do each line twice, and I like to make the second pass, I increase both of these numbers just by a couple, just so it's not puncturing my vinyl in the same place. So right now we're going to start this, and I'm going to go a few zigzags, and then I'm going to back it up a little bit just to reinforce that. Now I'm going to keep this lined up with that line that I made. I'm going to keep the bottom edge of that serge right there. And I'm going to ride my foot to where my foot is under, the vinyl is under the left side of my foot, and then the opening is going to swing and zigzag right like that. So just stop every now and then and make sure you're lined up good, because things do want to shift a little bit. But if you just put a little pressure, you'll be fine. Just keep your quilt from getting caught on the left side there, and just hold this, go a little ways, and then just make sure you're straight again and nothing shifted. And we're going to get this put down right like that. We're going to get to the edge, and we're going to back stitch it a couple stitches, and then we'll cut it off. Okay, then we're going to do our line B, line B, the edge of the line B, the bottom of the sleeve, the ruler sleeve. So we're going to line this up like this and do the same thing. So we did line D, and now we're doing line B. Little back up first, go a little ways, make sure you're still straight. You're lined up with the edge of that crosshair that you had from earlier, and you're just gonna zigzag that all the way across, and just make sure you're still lined up. And we're gonna back stitch a couple stitches just to reinforce that and cut it off. Now, since we already have our quilt oriented this way, we're gonna go and we're gonna up this just a couple stitches, just a couple, and this a couple, just so we're not piercing the vinyl in the same place. So here we go. We're gonna just do the same thing, but it's piercing it in a little bit different place. And then when we start our other lines, we're gonna have to make sure that we start with our original stitch length. Okay, there's that. This is why I said to orient the quilt the way I am, because it's easier to work with. Now, start this again, back it up a couple times. This is a fast, fun, easy project, and you get a lot of good from it. So now we've got the bottoms of each of the ruler sleeves done. Okay, now we've turned our quilt around because, like I said, I like to have my vinyl under the left side of my foot. So now we are going to do lines E and C. which are the top parts of our ruler sleeves. So we're gonna pull this down and line this up with our crosshairs and our line that we made previously. So we're gonna go up here and start this again. Here we go. And we're gonna back up a few stitches. We're just gonna keep going, and then we're gonna make sure we're lined up still. Make sure nothing's shifted, and keep it moving. I've got a death grip on this, so I know it didn't go anywhere, but it's a good idea to stop and check if you don't have a death grip on it, and then back up at the ends. Okay, now there's your ruler sleeve. Now we are going to do line C. And so we're gonna just pull this back. We're gonna line it up with our crosshairs right here and keep this serged line along the line that we previously marked. We're gonna start right here. Start down and then back it up a little bit and keep it moving. Just gonna make sure. It up when you get to the end, and there, you've got them on. But now we're going to go back and do one more line of sewing where we just did with a bigger stitch length. That way we can reinforce it even more without piercing the vinyl again in the same spot. So we're going to drop our foot, just keep going. This time is not, you don't have to have such a depth grip on it because you've already got it tacked down there. And just make sure you're using thread that you would like to see, because you will be seeing that thread. I wanted it bold and beautiful.
So she used 4 different threads on the serger.
Yes, that's the serger. And then I wanted to use a whole different color, like the color I quilted with.
There it is.
Yeah. So now we're going to maneuver this and do the second line of stitching. And here we go. Back it up. And both of your ruler sleeves are now completed. Next, we will do the template pocket. All right, now it's time to sew our template pocket on. So these are going to be lines F and G, and we will do our sides first and then the bottom. So you're going to want to take your template pocket and kind of line it up here at the bottom with that line. But we're not doing this line first, we're doing the side first. So we're going to pull this back and get this positioned where our crosshairs were and on this line, and hold it nice. Okay, hold it nice and tight. We're gonna come in here and we're gonna start with this line. Again, with your smaller zigzag first. We're gonna back it up. Gonna keep this lined up with this line we made. And be careful that your quilt is not pulling and disorienting your place up there. And we're gonna really back it up, because these are gonna take, you know, the brunt of the pockets being full. So we're gonna cut that off. I'll go through and do the other side. Same thing here. I'm gonna pull this back. Match this with my crosshairs. Okay. We're going to start down here on the point. Drop our needle, back it up. Keep going straight up through here. Going to just make sure I'm all lined up here. And now I can really go for it while I'm holding it. If you push down good enough on the vinyl, you shouldn't have a problem. And we back stitched at the beginning and into that stitch. Now we're gonna up this a little bit again. And since we're right here, we'll go ahead and double do this one. I'm gonna drop this down. We're gonna back stitch a little bit. Come back up. This is with the bigger stitch length. And back it up. Now we'll come over and do this other pocket, the other piece of the pocket, I should say. The side. Here we go. Back that up. I'm gonna fix my quilt because it's pulling. However, you can hold it to make it more comfortable and that it's not pulling on your quilt and pulling on your foot. Okay, so now we've got both sides with both lines of stitching, right? So now we just got to attach this bottom and then we're done with putting our template pocket on, okay? All right, now I'm going to go ahead and snip these threads that are here so they don't get in my way. I got none to snip over there. Okay, so now what I'm doing is sewing line A, which is the bottom of our template pocket. So I'm just going to kind of fold this and match it up with the edge and my line of stitching, which it's going to go ahead and go on there since we lined it up before. Kind of fold this to where you can get to that corner, all right? And we're going to go back to our normal stitch length for this first line of sewing. Going to back it up and keep it moving. Basically, it's going to stay lined up pretty good for you, but you can check it if you want to. And be sure to back stitch it really good when you come to the end again. And now we're going to lengthen our stitch length and go at it again. This will be our last line of sewing on here. I love the color of this. It's just really making everything pop. I love this fabric, how vibrant it is. Who wouldn't want to look at this all the time in their sweatshop, right? All right, so now our pocket is finished. Now, we're going to cut off all of our threads here. And next, we'll show you how to put your grommets on. All right, now is the time to put your grommets on if that's the way you're going to hang your ultimate hanging organizer. This is just a way to do it, and you can choose to do what you want to do. What I did was I measured halfway on the top of my quilt. I made a mark with a Sharpie so you could see it easily. That is not going to be able to get removed, so this was just for demonstration purposes. And so then I put my grommet up against the last line of my serging, lined it up, and then I made my circle like that. So there's my circle. And so for the corners, I'm lining up my grommet with the pink line of my stitching, the last line of my stitching there on my serge, and I'm going to trace a circle, and then start in the middle, take my scissors and make these precision scissors. Gosh.
We do it every time. I think we should name it something else.
I know.
The little pointy things.
Yeah, the pointy black scissors are amazing for this. So you're just going to take and get your...
but they are precise because of their
yes.
tip on it. That's why.
Exactly. So anyway, I cut from the middle out until I hit the line. And then I'll just take these little pie pieces and cut those out like that. Wow, that air fryer sounds like a plane taking off. Okay, so here's this. All right.
Sounds like good chicken to me.
And Gordo. Okay. And that's how we're gonna hollow that out to put our grommet in. Okay? So now we're gonna take our grommet and shove it through here. You wanna do it from the back side, it's easier. Push your fabric down into that hole that you made. Take the other side. Oops, this is not the one for this. Where is the, oh, here it is. One side has the little gasket, the other doesn't, so make sure that you are not mixing those up. So now
the gasket one goes in the back.
Yeah, or it doesn't, I don't think it really matters. Just get them to pop in together, snap it in together. And there you go. You have a grommet to hang your thing. Then I like to do it on either end and the center, but however you want to do it is up to you. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll go put the other grommet in and we'll show you the end result.
But we got to show them the snappies.
Oh yes, that's true.
So we'll show you the snappies.
All right, this is your piece with the grommets on it. So here we'll hold it up and show you.
Beautiful. Hold
Oh
it
my
up
gosh.
higher.
Hold it up
Use
higher.
your
Okay.
stretch.
Okay.
That's beautiful. The way the light hits those pockets, a different way, they look different colors. I love it.
And I use the, what are those things called, Sherry? The 3M hooks. The 3M hooks, and they work just fine to hang this. But okay, so now we're going to teach you about the loop pieces to add a little bit of, you know, convenience to your organizer. I went ahead and put the male part on some of these. I'll show how to do that. So I just take it and kind of figure out where the center is, like this.
And be careful because it's sharp.
Poke that all through and through and through. Make a good nice hole.
Isn't it an all?
All.
Yeah, you said
A-W-L.
all.
I said AWL. I hate the name of that. The pokey thing. Put the pokey thing in there. Put your round part of your snap, the thumbtack looking part, and get the male part. You can do it how you want, but I just try to stay consistent. I put the male part on here, and I'll put the female piece on the quilt itself. Where's my tool? Okay, so I'm just shoving this down on here. Sometimes when you put it on there, it'll stay nice and tight for you. Sometimes it won't. But you'll want to put the button, the tack part, in here up against that black. Make sure it's showing good. And then keep it straight up and then squeeze really good. And there, that's
Go
attached.
straight down with it. Don't tilt it at all.
Right. Exactly. Good point, Sherry. Okay, so now we're going to attach these to our quilt. I'm just going to look at this and say, oh, I'd like to have one about right here. Now, you don't want to go in too far because the throat of this snap tool is only so big. So you can only go in so far, all right, until you can't hardly do it conveniently. So I'm just going to go about right here. I'm just going to be random. I'm going to make a nice hole here. And believe me, I was making sure that my fingers were out of the way because that thing will poke a hole right through your whole finger. I'm going to...
Your sister has to deal with the blood and do dressings and
Yes. So I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to poke a hole in here. And then I'm going to put this in here.
Helps if you have long fingernails.
Yeah. And then I'm going to push this down here like this. And I'll stick my whole piece in here. I'll line that tack part up with that black part and just squeeze really nice and tight. And now we've got a snap.
Yay.
Now I could have shortened this a little bit and made it.
Depends on what you want to put in there.
Yeah. Or I could have put it up a little higher. How about we put, I don't know.
Right here.
Right here. Somewhere around and through here. We'll do this right here. And do the same thing. What color are we going to do? Orange? Okay. Sounds good. Make your hole. Now this one I'm going to go up from behind and poke that through like that. We're going to put this in here, right side to the quilt.
Chicken's done. You got to be done with this, G.
Okay. There we go.
And there you have it.
And there you have it.
Turn it other.
And where are we going to put another one?
I don't know, but we're not doing it on film.
Okay, we're going to put one right here.
You can do
One
that.
more. Come on, one more. It's fun. Come on, they said it would be fun.
Yeah.
Oops,
What'd you do?
almost hurt myself. Here, where are we going to put this? Right here. See, it don't have to be that fiddly, y'all. Just do it. Just take the adventure and just poke wherever you feel you want something. There.
On the other side,
Like
make
that.
shorter ones.
Yeah, I could have, but
It's okay.
whatever. We're just doing this. We're going to be done. Put this in here. Make sure that thumbtack is centered into your black piece here.
It's grooved.
Oh, I did this upside down, didn't I?
We'll turn it.
Turn it. There we go. No fuss, no muss. All right.
All right, hold it up.
So,
There you have it.
there you have it. I'm going to put one more because I have one more, but not right now. Here we go.
All right, lift it up. There you go. Stretch it out. Let's see, how long shall we make her hold this? Anyway, peace out, you guys. We had a great time. I hope you did too. And you make your beautiful ultimate hanging organizers for your sweatshops. Peace out, y'all.